Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it.
Please like, subscribe, share with your mates, and enjoy the episode.
Hey guys, what's up? Episode 39 of The Flip Side. Just got a notification. You know the spam Instagram accounts? I got a spam follower from Sunny Leone. It's one of those fan accounts. And Sunny Leone was this name that I would hear come up a lot during high school. I don't know, it was like really popular in the Sri Lankan Indian culture. They'll bring up that name a lot. What do you know about Sunny Leone, Krishn?
I don't know much. I promise I don't know much about Sunny Leone. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But Jesus Christ, it's so bad, man. You know what's the worst? I've been getting. Well, first of all, episode 39. Thank you so much for coming back. Really quickly before we start the episode, I will plug the TikTok that we have created. If you guys want to check it out, you can do that. Thank you. And if you're listening, it's at The Flip Side Podcast Show, all one word. Yeah, check it out. Give it a follow. Let us interact with it. See if we get any traction on it. But that's our new TikTok.
Yeah, I'd highly that'd be highly appreciated if you guys can do that. It'll be like cool clips and highlights from our episodes. So if you guys don't have time to listen to the whole episodes, or you just want to get all the cool highlights, definitely recommend it. Our team is sort of getting out all the hot sort of pics, and we're going to go hard on TikTok and see how it goes. I think it's getting traction, and the viewers are coming from Australia and United States, which is good in contrast, because my TikTok, I get a lot of viewers from Philippines. Like 50% of my following is from Philippines, because my team uploads it from Philippines, so it's like the algorithm stuck, a bit stuck. But I think I'm pretty happy with how the TikTok's gone so far. I'm pretty happy. Like, we're nearly episode 40, which is pretty crazy, Krishn.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to, episode 50, we'll have to put a marker down. But this is episode 39. Maybe 40, we said we'll try something a bit different. If we have the time and time permits, we'll be able to look into, trying something a bit different, implementing something a bit different. But it'll be good. But on the topic of spam, dude, I don't know about you, but recently I've been getting hella spam emails. Spam emails are coming through thick and fast, and it never used to be a thing until maybe a few months ago. And now I'm getting 10 spam emails a day, and I really don't know what's going on. Obviously, when you think about it, there's been a data breach somewhere.
Yeah,
there's 100% been a data breach somewhere, because I'm getting all these random emails. At the moment, I have 10, and it says my full name.
What?
As in the email.
Oh wow!
This is the email that I use for everything, for sending to, how you have to have one professional email. I don't know, you obviously have one for the organization, etc., right? So I'm just getting so many spam emails. What the hell? I don't know if it's the same for you as well, but I'm so annoyed when I get them. Bit of breach.
I can agree, because I've been getting these spam emails from just random suppliers from China just sending me hey, do you want to buy these freaking what do you call those clippers, nail clippers, yoga bands. I recently got pliers. I was I don't want this shit. Spam, and it just keeps coming through. It's pretty annoying.
It's so bad. It's the worst when you think about it. I get 10 a day, and I'm just it didn't happen before, so there's been a data breach somewhere. So it's just interesting to see, because how you always see in the news, there's been a recent data breach, or some details have been released, and you're thinking, oh yeah, that probably didn't happen to me, my information, that's all sweet. But you least expect your email, and then bang, that's it, your email's done, and you're getting all these things, and you don't realize that the email they use it's the one they use for everything. It's far out, man.
Dude, I recently received a text from this mobile number saying, hello, your number is held at our distribution center. Please follow instructions. Click on the link. It tells me where my suburb is, area is. It says you have to pay $2 to get it shipped to your house. I'm is this a scam? And I didn't do anything. This was last Friday, and now I'm clicking on the link now, and the link doesn't work anymore. So it was a scam. I didn't fork out $2 because nothing would have came to my house, and they would have gotten my house address.
They start by charging the $2 to see if it can go through. It's like a test, and then once the $2 goes through, it gets processed. They hit you with the big one. They hit you with the bigger one. So it's like a dummy that they always do. We used to get calls about it all the time in my old job when I was at the bank. People would be like, "Oh, did you send me a text? I don't know," because if you never receive a text from a bank asking you to click on a link and log in, if it is your bank texting you, they'll ask you to either give them a call back or check your email, etc. Even in the emails, they won't give you a link. So if you get a link sent from someone claiming to be a bank, don't ever open it. The bank doesn't send you links. They'll tell you to log on your account and everything. It's so interesting how they work. They hit you with a small $2 and then bang, uppercut you with the bigger one.
How big is the bigger one, Krishn?
It depends on well, they test it out. They can go $2 and then after that they can go 1,000 or they can go like a few hundred.
And then what do they tell you to fork out that money? What's the excuse they tell you?
Well, it's more so that when you give your details, they'd have your details, and then that's why they start with the $2.
And they can bill your card.
Yeah, they bill your card, yeah.
And then when they do that, so for example, Krishn, right now I have say hundreds of customers' details on my system, and if I want, I could just bill everyone and just run away, I guess. But
that's true.
How does that work? Yeah, if I bill and just withdraw the money into my bank account, how does that work?
Yeah, you can 100% do that, and anyone with our card dates online can do that. All the companies that you have used your card dates with previously, they can do that. But if they do that and you recognize something as an unrecognized transaction, you flag it with your bank, you lodge a dispute. And the good thing is with MasterCard and Amex and stuff, if it's a menial, if it's a smaller amount, so my ANZ card's with Visa, and so obviously Visa and MasterCard, two biggest card providers in the world, right? So that
I mean debit or credit?
Oh, debit.
Oh, okay, cool.
Debit. Even with credit card, Visa and MasterCard, they're always there, right?
Got it.
They both have their own safety procedures that they follow. So I know with MasterCard, it's if you dispute anything with purchases that are under $100, it's money back guarantee, 100% money back guarantee no matter what. But if it's a little bit more, they may look into investigative procedures and they investigate it, and then they go deeper, and it can take up to 14 days for you to get your money back based on evidence you provide to the bank. And then it's a slow burning little process. That's why if you do get charged something that you don't recognize, just call you back up straight away. Don't wait and think about what it is. So it's it's interesting, isn't it? I never really thought about it before.
So a debit card transaction is disputable, whereas a bank transfer isn't.
Yeah, so the thing with the bank transfer is that you can, but you can't be guaranteed that you'll get your money back, because essentially what happens with the bank transfer is if you send money to someone and you say, "Oh, sorry, I sent you the wrong person," or you think, "Oh, sorry, I sent them the wrong amount," what the bank essentially does is they send a letter of communication to the other bank. So the bank say, "I send you money, you're with JP Morgan and I'm with Citibank," right? We'll just use the two biggest banks as an example. Citibank will contact you, JP Morgan, your bank. JP Morgan say, "Please try and get the money back to us." Essentially, in layman terms, please get the money transferred back to us because it was an accident. They can't enforce it because technically you process that.
So for example, if let's say Krishn, you own a restaurant, go and tap $100 with my Visa card, that $100 doesn't go straight into your bank account. It goes to an escrow, a payment gateway Stripe or something. Or what's the most popular payment gateway that the money will sit in before it gets deposited into your bank account? Or does it go directly to your bank account?
It goes directly to your bank account. Yeah.
And how come when you do a credit card payment or debit card payment like that, I can get my money back, whereas if I deposit directly to your bank account, I can't get it back?
Because it's essentially you making a payment with your card as opposed to you transferring money from your bank account. Because a payment on a card, it's hard to explain, but a payment on a card, it's backed by Visa and MasterCard. Like that's all the debit
Interesting.
cards. Whereas
So
if you
let's
make a
say
bank transfer, it's directly from your bank account. You've got that authority to do that.
let's say I tap like $10,000, put in my PIN, and then you receive the $10,000. It goes into your bank account, and you just run away. Will Visa take the money back from you, or will Visa cover on their behalf as like with their insurance, and Visa will pay me back, or will you pay me back?
See, I'm not too sure. I think in some instances they request the money back, or like, you know, they try and get essentially those funds returned. But I think it is Visa or MasterCard covering.
Because you don't have to give it back, do you?
Yeah, technically. But I think you thinking of it as like you using your card to like give someone money as a like tapping something and giving them money. Think of it like as you paying for goods or something, you know what I mean? Like as opposed a bit different to that. But yeah, I'm not too sure how they try and get the money back from the organizations because yeah, it's an interesting one, but I think it is just more so the Visa. I'm gonna Google it real quick. I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah. When I was 13, my first ever scam that I got into was not me doing the scamming, but I got scammed. I was a scammy, I guess. Was in MapleStory. There was these people saying, go to nexonnet.com for free Nexon, NX. NX was something you would pay real currency to get. So I was like, oh, I want some free NX. And it kept like, these guys would just stand there and it was like every day you would see them. One, it was weird they wouldn't get reported, or I guess they did because there was always new accounts. But two, just because of the repetition, I thought it was real. Went to that website, was this like cool MapleStory Nexon login page, logged in, password incorrect. Log in again, password incorrect. Oh, okay, that's weird. 24 hours later, I log into my account, I lost everything. And I was like, wow. So like that's like the common scam. Like you'll get emails from St. George or different banks, and they'll tell you to log in or log into your email or log into your Facebook to see what this person messaged you, but it's not actual facebook.com, it's like facebook.cn or something. And then you log in and it doesn't log you in because they don't know your logins. It's like a keylogger-ish. And that was one of the first times I got scammed,
Yeah, like I think just be wary that the one thing that you do, especially with banks, because every bank has every single bit of your information, whether you like it or not, right? Like they have everything, their tax file number, your passport, your photo identification, your address, phone number, everything. If they send you a link to log in anything, don't ever do that. Just even if you're just suspicious slightly, just call them and ask, and then they can see on their end if there was any attempt to contact you. They'll just send you an email telling you to log in, but won't give you a link. You know what I mean? That's what they usually do. But I'm having a look at MasterCard. It doesn't really say much other than saying if you suspect fraud, just give us a call. They don't really go into depth about the like how they go about the fraud, but I think we'll be able to look into it with some deeper research. But like, yeah, it's like so interesting how like with modern technology and everything, like scams and frauds become so much more like it's evolved from, you know, sending money to a Nigerian prince to now becoming very, very real. You know what I mean? To like you're getting a text message from someone. It's so interesting.
Krishn, I fell into a slump again. Last night, slept at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.?
Yeah, it was bad. I watched like...
What are you doing?
I watched one episode of Suits at 6 p.m. and then I opened my eyes and it's 4 a.m. I watched 10 freaking hours and I felt... At first I thought it was good because like, hey, I was going to sleep in the next day or reset, take the day off. Like I was exhausted. But I had the doctor's appointment this morning, blood test at 9:30. So I had to wake up at 8. So I had 4 hours of sleep and I was just like hating myself. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I sleep late? Tomorrow I'm going to feel like shit. I got an appointment tomorrow, like Andy. And I was just like, I just felt bad. And the next morning I was like, I'm tired, but I pushed through the day. And like, dude, like this morning, before I really like had like a comeback, like I hit like a micro rock bottom again.
4 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m.
How's soccer going?
It's going amazing. I'm loving every single minute of it, and it's fantastic because you just wake up and you just know there's a game. Anyway, but like 4 a.m. What? No,
Dude, I had like
bro,
my
that's
alarm.
horrible. I think
It rings. It rings at 10 p.m. telling me to drop everything and go to sleep. Just snoozed it. And it snoozes for 10 minutes. Rings, snooze. I'm just watching the TV, snoozing it. And then, like, I don't know, like, it's like so, like, they've cracked it where, like, the cliffhangers, I think there's like this 50 every episode. It's A B. It's like a good cliffhanger where you're really happy and you're really like excited and G'd up and you want more, or like a cliffhanger is like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? And then it just keeps you watching. And this morning, this afternoon, I unplugged my TV. I took it from the power point and just unplugged it. It's easy to put it together, but like it's a pain now. But like I unplugged my TV.
the intentions are there. Their intentions are there to make it good. But like 4 a.m.'s cook. Like even me, like I just start getting tired after a while. I don't know how you didn't just start getting drowsier because you don't operate on caffeine.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't get. I would get tired at like say 2 a.m. Oh shit, I could go sleep now, but just got good and it woke me up again. It was just so intriguing. I was like the dopamine. It was just like constant like. Just like wow, this is so cool.
Oh my god, I do understand in the sense that it's so easy to like, get caught up in it all, but brother, what is going on for him? You can't practice, you gotta practice what you preach on here, talking about routines, talking about, self-discipline, but I actually don't even know what to say. You stumped me. You honestly stumped me.
I know, and
how are you going to come back from this slump? What are you going to do to make sure that this doesn't, like, it's fine watching it, but you got to do something to like hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. So a few things. One, I broke up my end routine because I know it's too packed, and it's like there's like friction, like. I used to have to like tell myself to turn off my internet, but I started with like doing my daily planner, plan the next day, go through all my Trello boards, clear all the new tasks and ideas I have, complete any urgent things, go through all Slack messages, reply to all my messages on like my phone, WhatsApp, IG, and sometimes I charge my mouse. And sometimes that task, this can take anywhere from 20 to 100 minutes. Like sometimes it'll take an hour and a half because there's just a lot of things to do, and sometimes it might take 20 minutes. And like that unknown, I should be doing that at 6 p.m. every day, but I'm scared of doing that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, why don't I try and break it up? So I split it up where all the messages and all the tasks, I put it at the beginning of the day, and the planning is done at the end of the day, where it's like, oh, okay, cool. The planning, that takes like 20 minutes max, that's fine. I actually enjoy starting the day going through messages because I'm a bit ADHD, where I'll try to start the day with not checking messages, not doing anything that's scattered, and that hasn't been working. So hopefully this is like a win-win scenario where I can start the day, reply to a bunch of messages, go through a bunch of DMs, and that's like a good way to build momentum and to start the day. So that's one. Turn off my TV, disconnected, I'm quitting TV. Hopefully I can quit for a while. 3, I'm gonna just like this would usually happen at lunch, dinner, where I would want to watch something while eating. So I'm gonna just like listen to music or like listen to podcasts on Spotify. And that's what I'm going to do as like a way to wean off, like a nicotine patch for like eating.
I was going to say, it just sounds like you're an addict, you're going through a reform as if you're just like, severely addicted to it, but you're not. I guess everyone's like has some form of addiction, but like, yeah, definitely, bro.
It was bad.
Weight of it, yeah.
It was bad. And then like at the same time, another thing I realized was like those days where slept early, planned the next day, woke up, exercise, cold shower, breakfast, meditate for 5 minutes, sat down on the desk. I just didn't want to do any work. I just didn't want to do work. Like I could force myself, but I wasn't happy. I just didn't want to do work. And I was like, but I did everything correct. Why is this happening? And it really reminded me of what my Uncle Peter used to tell me. It was like, yo, like, you like Andy, like you're trying too hard, you have all these systems and affirmations, things you repeat to yourself, but like what happens if you get cancer and you try to starve it out and you try to go to Mexico and take some alternative medicine and go through ayahuasca and take a bunch of magic mushrooms and you don't recover? You're gonna feel bad, because I was young, like I was like, I could do anything, like if I put in the work, put in the grind, whatever is the problem, I'll be able to handle it. But eventually things just break. Like my affirmations weren't getting me going, my routines weren't getting me going, and then I had to really realign my whys. And that's another thing, every time I hit sort of like a rock bottom, like it's like a huge catalyst for like a swing shot back up.
I was gonna actually ask, why is this happening to you? Why are you feeling like you're relapsing back into TV? What's going on? Do you feel like you're not working as hard as you used to? Is it like a what's the word when you use something as is it a crutch? Do you think that coping mechanism, etc.? Like,
I got a hypothesis. So the last 2 weeks I was like really motivated, like I was on a roll, like I was at my peak, I was sleeping early, I was getting a lot done. Dude, I slept like 10 hours, 12 hours on Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, had a lot of sleep the night before. That Friday, went to the city with you and the boys, 8:30, had some drinks. By the time I got home, it was like 3:30 a.m. Slept, woke up earlier the next morning, had an intern come through. Was pretty productive that Saturday, surprisingly. Got a lot done. I was pretty exhausted, but I just pushed myself to get a lot done. Slept decently early, slept at like 10:30. Woke up to the next day, which was Sunday, UFC day, where you guys came over. We had like cool lunch, watched some UFC and sports. That day I slept a bit late. And then Monday comes around, pretty not motivated to do work despite all doing the routine. Sleep a bit late on Monday. Tuesday comes along and that's when I sleep at 3 a.m. So I think it's like a mixture of like my like mental strength is just depleted, my like energy is depleted, my life force is like depleted, and then I just don't have any resilience to like stop.
Yeah, it's interesting because you've had a holiday. You've had a good, decent break. You know, you went to Queensland, Noosa, you had the solo journey, you've had the holiday. I'm not saying you don't need another one. You might need another one. You need to recharge. Something's up. It's not right. It's not clicking at the moment. And like if you force yourself to like, you know, go hard and push yourself, it's not going to be the same, because you know that's when you get overexerted. That's when you get tired. Got to find what works best and then maybe try something a bit different, throw a spanner in the works with the routines. This is when you got to mix it up. Maybe try a new protein shake, maybe try a new shake in the morning, maybe try a coffee, maybe try a caffeine-free coffee, a caf, or just try something different, like look at this, implement something new, because it doesn't sound like you. It's obviously, you know, a bump in the road. It's something you got to get over, but it doesn't matter. This happens all the time, and this is when you learn from it. You know what I mean? It's not even that big of a deal, because you told me you still grinded last week anyway. It was a long weekend as well, so it's like, don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And another thing I realized through this was one thing that would help me was like every time I was like procrastinating, I would tell myself sort of my like say obnoxious goal. I'm not going to say it, but let's say it's something like, I don't know, Krishn, what's an obnoxious goal?
An obnoxious goal?
Yeah, something that's like really big that people are like, okay.
Just being the richest man in Australia. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Perfect. So every time I'm not motivated or procrastinating, I'll be like, I will be the richest person in Australia. And I'll repeat this, and I have like a reminder that tells me to do this every hour. I will be the richest person in Australia. And when you say it, like all of a sudden you're motivated, you're smiling, your chest is up, you get up and you get to work. But then there's like, I did that for a week, and like eventually you say it gets you to work, but it's just like you're not happy. You're just working because you have this goal that you have to follow, but you're not happy. So what I've changed that to is like, I will be the happiest person in the world. I want to become the happiest person in the world. And like, that's been a huge shift. The moment I went from saying my obnoxious goal to saying something like that, all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, how do I sleep earlier? I hate my end routine. How do I break that up? How do I not get in and watch 10 episodes of like a TV series and get unsatisfied? And like, if I use that as like a main goal, that's been like a big driver. But you're right, that's another thing. Holiday is something I haven't thought about too recently, and I might have to think about that too.
Yeah, maybe just a quick escape, for a weekend or somewhere. Just like, let your hair back, go again, just reset again. Even if it's just a weekend, a snow trip maybe. Like you said, you wanted to go. But look, it's not a bad thing. Obviously, it's good because this is when you know that got to switch things up a little bit, try something a bit different. But yeah, like you just got to keep at it. It's good that you've changed your goal from an obnoxious goal to something that's self-endearing in the sense that you're looking to like genuinely find happiness and stuff. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if you have those days when you do sleep at 4 a.m. if you do hold yourself accountable for it later on and work for it. But I want to move on to a slightly different topic because I don't know if okay, Alexandra Cooper.
Oh, yes, I do know her. Call your daddy girl.
Did you hear what happened?
I have not heard what happened. I know the last thing I heard about her is apparently she gave Logan Paul.
Not quite where I'm going here, but Alexandra Cooper runs a podcast called Call Her Daddy. From memory, Call Her Daddy podcast used to be a co-hosted podcast, but I think something happened, blah, blah, blah. And then it was just her. It was just Alexandra Cooper hosting and running the Call Her Daddy podcast. And when you listen to the podcast, they have budget. They have budget compared to like us, right? Like you can listen to it. You listen to podcasts and bro, they got ads. They got amazing sound tuning. Everything is there. They have an amazing support system to set them up, right? That's because they're sponsored. So she was with Barstool, and Barstool essentially just set the whole. Do you think this is rude? Do you think Alexandra Cooper knows exactly how to set up the optimal podcast, etc.? No, she doesn't, bro. People at the Barstool who come through, do everything for her, have the ad segments set in perfectly, have the the segues into different topics amazing, the transitions are amazing and perfect, right? Blah blah blah. She has a foundation set up for a podcast. She set it up and it's doing well. She's very highly streamed. Recently got bought out by Spotify. Not bought out, but Spotify bought the rights to exclusively stream the Call Her Daddy podcast, which was previously distributed by Barstool Sports, for $60 million American dollars.
Whoa.
60 million American dollars. Now, I will admit I've heard a few episodes of the Call Her Daddy podcast. It sounds, the name of the podcast itself really alludes to as the content which is discussed on such a podcast. It is heavily, revolving around topics of women's mental health, women's health, women empowerment, female empowerment, sexual health, etc., right?
Wow.
And I think she was one of the first ones to really just start openly talking about it, which is a topic which is obviously considered not taboo, but it's like normal topic of conversation is here. That topic of conversation is like there. She just was stuck in that, right? And like I said, the topics of conversation aren't always centered around, stupid shit like you said, etc., right? But every now and then she goes and does like talk about mental health and awareness and everything. I don't know if she still does it, but $60 million, dude. Because it's a very unique podcast she has because no one else is doing that. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, 60 million.
Do you think did they buy out her or did they buy out like did the Barstool make any money? Or what do you think? Like, was Barstool a part of this? Did they get any money? Because, like, I think Barstool owns the podcast and has the rights to it, but then when they partner up, she, like, got equity, I guess, like 50-50. Like, yeah, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, actually, because it's essentially a licensing agreement. So if Barstool had the licensing agreement to Call Her Daddy, I think they would have had to offer Alexandra Cooper herself a lot more money to, like, you know, offer to license it completely there. And as a result, Spotify were able to. So I'm just reading into it now. She began co-hosting Call Her Daddy with Sophia Franklin, like I said, in 2018, under a 3-year deal in 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21. The deal was up. That makes sense. So 2 years later, it's the 5th most streamed podcast on Spotify.
Wow.
But success led to a nasty contract dispute with Barstool founder. Okay, so the co-host left because of a Barstool dispute. So Alexandra Cooper stayed on, and the Barstool owner offered a $500,000 salary to her. So obviously there was a lot of rift in the background with contract disagreements and disputes, and as a result, it's always been iffy. Just Spotify saw an opportunity in that and just went in and jumped in. 60 million. I'm shocked. 60 million. That's big money.
Imagine going from just having, let's say, a few $100,000 to having, like, even if you net like 20 million, like, that's like 20 houses.
That's the thing. 20 houses. You know what 20 houses does for you? You become a real estate tycoon and you just live off the rent that you just earn. That's my goal eventually. Just become a real estate tycoon and just don't have to work a single day. Just have so much income coming in from rent. It's absolute kickback, right? But this has just obviously shocked me because Amazon. This is not the first time. Sorry, not Amazon. This isn't the first time that Spotify have done this. They did it with Joe Rogan. Obviously that deal should be astronomically bigger. I forget how much that
100 million.
Say less, you know what I mean? Say less. 100 million, Joe Rogan. That makes sense, right?
But and it's worked. Like, I'm listening to podcasts on Spotify now. It's working.
Yeah, it's working. And I honestly think Spotify are so unbelievably smart. Spotify have the game.
Can't get out.
You can't get out, and you know what?
I got like all my playlists. I can't get out.
I don't. You know what? I'm very interested that you have Spotify and not Apple Music, and don't take that the bad way. It's more so that everything you have is obviously streamlined around Apple Music, but Spotify have literally cemented themselves in such a way that it's just it's hard. Tidal can't compete with Spotify. Amazon Music, come on, man. Google Play Music, that Google, you know, got rid of their music on because of like just how saturated Spotify have got the market. And it's so smart to get this deal. They got the exclusive rights to stream the podcast on their but yeah, I don't know, it's interesting, isn't it? Like
32% of market share. I just searched it up. Spotify apparently has 32% of like the whole market share, which is insane. That's one third of people listening to music use Spotify. Crazy.
And they've just everything about Spotify is amazing, in my opinion. The app experience, the fact that you can access podcasts on it, and the fact that they're investing a lot into these podcasts shows that they're not just, you know, stuck on one service as a music streaming service. They're delving into podcasts, and who knows what we can see in the future from Spotify because if this keeps up. You never know, like in terms of what they could be investing in. But yeah, I just found that very interesting, man. 60 million, like
that's a lot of money. Because like Logan Paul apparently made 20 million on the Mayweather fight. So obviously Call Her Daddy has like, it took her like, 5-6 years to build it to this point, and Logan Paul had to just train for 8 months. But like 60 million makes like Logan Paul's 20 million for the Mayweather fight seem small.
It seems small, but I do have to appreciate the commitment and dedication one would have to their podcast to be able to get it to the level that it is today, because it could be so easy just to quit early and, just think, is this worth it or not? I won't lie, I've had those thoughts, like, is it worth it in the long term? But you just got to keep going. Like, you just got to keep pushing. I'm not saying that we'll ever be worth 60 million, but like,
dude. So apparently Call of Duty has 115 episodes. Like, what? That's so little. Is that real? 121 episodes. How long ago did they start? 2018. Wow, it's only been 3 years.
Yeah, and bear in mind, there used to be a co-host. It used to be her and someone else, and then they left. So there may have been a period of time where they didn't upload as much. I don't know why this has shocked me the most, because it's just interesting. Like, I'm genuinely just shocked, because she obviously now has to. There's more pressures associated with being essentially brought out. Agreements built up by Spotify, biggest streaming service in the world. You have pressures to really start performing now, and it's like interesting, eh?
I think so too. The next thing I was thinking of, watches, Krishn. Is that something that now that you've seen people around you get watches, that something that you're starting to crave, or you're still pretty cool, like you don't need a watch? Or what's your thoughts on watches, Krishn?
It is something that I do want to. Like, when I saw you and our other friend that had the Rolex, I was like, maybe I want a Rolex. Maybe I want to, send some money aside to get a Rolex. But like, it's so easy. We've talked about this so many times. So easy to look at other people, see that they have, and just be like, oh, maybe I should get that if they're getting that. Yeah, it is something that I would want to eventually get, but right now it's not feasible for me at all, and as a result, I have to say no. But I do want an IWC. I want an IWC. IWC for me is just beautiful. Like, I love their watches. But are you gonna get another one, you reckon?
No, I wanted to. I saw one that I sort of really want to get, that I think would like look really good. Like, it's like a pretty good watch. The Cartier Santos. Have you seen this watch before? This is like up and coming. Like, this is slowly becoming the shit, and it's like a nice
love watches though.
Price. It's like if you get one for like a used one for 5,000, it's gonna like hold its price. Like, I think this is a good watch for you. Like, if you were to get a watch, I think this would be like a solid like investment. It looks like timeless. It looks a bit more older and more gentleman like. It has a sort of AP sort of vibe.
It does have a big AP vibe, and you're 100% right. It's a very classy, old and gentleman look.
Yes.
Of watch. It's like a beautiful watch.
It's like it has the brand Cartier to it, and it has like the AP vibe. So if you were to get a watch, I'd highly recommend the Cartier Santos. Like, it's slowly, I think it's just going to keep rising as well in value slowly, just because right now I'm just seeing a lot.
That is nice. That black one. Yeah, that is nice.
It has this cool, like, futuristic Doctor Who type of vibe to it. I really, like, I was like, damn, like, I wouldn't mind. I don't know, I'll keep my eye on it. I definitely I'm not ready to get a second watch as of yet, but this is nice. Like,
I'm going to go after this and start researching it and try to potentially grab one, but don't sell your Rolex. Keep it. Don't sell it. Because if you're going to double down and get a Rolex, I'm saying it again to you because I'm scared you're probably thinking it.
Yeah, don't sell it.
Because if you're going to double down and get a Rolex, I don't care if you did it for show or if you did it, to... Obviously, you got it, you have it, now keep it for a while and then sell it later, maybe. You know what I mean? There's no point selling it. But yeah, I'm pretty keen on it because I just started actually wearing... It's funny you mentioned that. It's so funny because I bought a watch and I started wearing it yesterday properly because I had to get the band done and everything. It's just
congratulations on the purchase.
Yeah, it was like I bought it a long time ago. It's just I finally got around to like getting everything sorted out for it. It's just an Armani watch.
What color band or what type of band did you get?
It's a steel band. It's just a steel Armani watch with a blue face. It's just easy to use and everything. I can wear in the office. I like it. It looks nice. It's like a decent or everyday watch that I can just use, right? I only got it because I got it on sale. All hell Ozbargain. Ozbargain showed me that it was on 60% off. I was like $500 down to like $200. I was like, yeah,
that's so good.
I'll just buy it. So yeah, like I want that Cartier watch.
And it has like the Cartier watch. One more thing, it has a Richard Mille type of vibe to it. It sort of reminds me of it. So I think like, you know, I've been seeing some watch people wear it, and in a year's time, it might just appreciate a lot, or it'll just hold value. Worst case scenario. I would want to get it for the chance of it appreciating, but if it doesn't, then I'm just like, that's sort of another dead, like just like my current Rolex, it's sort of dead weight. Not dead weight, but it's just like not like the money's stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck, and if you get it, you'd be killing yourself. Trust me.
Exactly. So I think if you do get one, the Cartier Santos, great recommendation. That's something that I thought of when I thought of that. I was like, if I can't, like, I'm not ready to get a second watch, I think this is something I should recommend to Krishn.
Yeah, like maybe at the end of the year, I'll treat myself to it, maybe. But it depends. If I quit my job early, there ain't no way that's happening. But if I don't quit my job early, then I could potentially get it.
How's work been, Krishn?
Work's been alright. I just I'm an autopilot. I'm just completely switched on autopilot. I know I'm leaving. I know that I know that I can still do the work that's required of me. I know, and because my managers know that as well. So I just completely kick back, and I just binge TV shows all day. So I finished The Good Place, Superstore, Community. What else have I finished?
You should watch Goodfellas. Apparently that's like the best TV show ever.
Yeah. But see, when I'm working, I just need like a mindless, stupid show. I think I've mentioned this, just a stupid show. The IT Family Guy, yeah, I could watch that. Like at the moment, I just rewatching Inbetweeners. For me, Inbetweeners is my all-time. Have you seen Inbetweeners?
That rings a bell. Is it like all the UK people?
Yeah, like a
yes. Yes.
For me, it's my all-time greatest show of all time. It's just an amazing show. I absolutely love it. But yeah, just doing that, kicking back, you know, just enjoying it, because I just know that by the time I actually start the full-time work, it'll be a lot more tough and rigorous as opposed to what I'm going through now. But yeah, man, like work is work. But I think we've hit a sweet spot. We've hit 45. I know we can keep going, but I'm going to try and double down and make sure that we keep hitting these 45 minutes, because the last few have been long, and I think it's correlated with the statistics that we have. Statistics.
That's a good realization. I agree with you. Thanks for wrapping it up, Krishn. Thanks for doing this as always. Really appreciate everyone for listening. Hopefully, I think this is something that I do enjoy. Like every week, like I have like so many different things I can like talk about. This list just builds, and it's just fun talking. I think it's also therapeutic. It's sort of like a bit like therapy for me, and this is something that I don't mind sort of. And I think I just really want to time capsulate my thoughts and me as a person on the 16th of June 2021, and that's sort of why I see myself doing this for a long time. And yeah, thanks so much for doing this with me, Krishn.
Oh, I've completely forgot to timestamp it at the start. Thank you for doing that. 16th of June 2021. Nearly a year since we started. Nearly a year since we had that conversation to start it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. Episode 39. Next week is episode 40. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for everyone listening. Appreciate it.
Peace.